Hello and welcome. My name is Melanie Ciotti. I'm the marketing manager at Studio Network Solutions, SNS. Thank you for tuning into our webinar today. It's been a busy year here at SNS. We turned 25 years old as a company, and hitting this milestone has brought around some really fun stories of solutions and customers and memories over the years. If you don't follow our blog, I highly encourage you to take a look at the article about our 25th anniversary so you can see a bit more about who we are, where we came from, and where we're headed next. Earlier this year, we announced brand new solutions like Evo Cloud, our fully cloud hosted workflow solution, and Mod, powered by Evo, the compact Evo Suite server and cloud edge device for media professionals. We also enhanced existing solutions like rebuilding Nomad, our remote workflow tool, and speeding up both VPN Accelerator and Transcode Accelerator. And we won two major industry awards this year, including the Cloud Computing and Storage Product of the Year Award from NAB and the Storage Award at the IABM Broadcast and Media Awards at IBC. All of this is to say that here at SNS, we innovate to help media production teams like yours create amazing content faster from anywhere. Today, we're going to focus on a specific innovation that we just announced in September, ShareBrowser version 7. There's something really big coming your way in this release, and it's going to be a game changer for many of your workflows. This new version of ShareBrowser comes with incredible features that will help your team maximize productivity, efficiency, and creativity in your media workflow. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, take a moment to browse over to SNS on the Tube and give us a follow. We post new videos every month or two, including our recorded webinars, our tutorial videos, user stories, and product announcements. In fact, we have a whole series on ShareBrowser tips and tricks that I think will be a great complement to what you've tuned in to learn about today. And if you prefer shorter form videos, follow us at TikTok at SNS on the Talk. Now let's get back to what you came here for, ShareBrowser version 7. We'll cover a few things you probably know and use in the system already, and then we'll dive into what's new in ShareBrowser version 7. For those of you who are not yet using ShareBrowser, you'll see a brief demo on the webinar today, but there's so much more to see in the full Evo and ShareBrowser workflow. So if you'd like to see a personalized system demo, you can reach out to us at studionetworksolutions.com for more information. And of course, you can check out our videos on YouTube anytime as well. This webinar will teach you everything you need to know about the changes coming in the latest version of our media asset management software. As part of the Evo suite, ShareBrowser MAM comes included with every Evo solution, from our compact Mod and Prodigy servers to the 8-bay and 16-bay Evo powerhouses, to our nearline solutions and the multi-award-winning Evo Cloud workflow. Every Evo includes ShareBrowser MAM for unlimited users on your team. And with the latest updates coming in version 7, there's simply no better way to store, organize, and collaborate on your files. Brian Katowski is here to tell you all about it. Brian is an expert workflow engineer here at SNS with a wide range of industry experience. He's worked as a producer, editor, and post-production supervisor in the Los Angeles area for about 20 years, where he created music videos, commercials, television shows, live concerts, feature films, you name it, all for a variety of collaborators, corporate clients, and high-profile artists. He also is a college professor and has been teaching at universities in the Los Angeles area since 2007, as well as working with film schools to devise custom workflow solutions. Brian pulls on this live and post-production experience every day as he specializes in workflow design for on-site, hybrid, and remote media production teams. He's part of the workflow group at SNS, which is a dedicated team of media specialists that helps bridge the gap between what our solutions can do from a technical perspective and how you can apply them to improve your team's real world workflow. We have workflow group team members around the world translating these technical features into workflow realities. If you've purchased an Evo system and want to know who can I talk to help me get the most out of my Evo, we have a whole team dedicated to helping you with just that. As part of the workflow group, you can often find Brian in the role of instructor for our ShareBrowser training sessions, which you'll get a sneak peek into today. But if you want to follow up with a dedicated ShareBrowser training for yourself or your team, feel free to leave us a comment and we'll follow up to get you on the schedule. Brian will first cover some basics about ShareBrowser, like what it is and how it's different from other MAM systems. He'll explore the latest features in ShareBrowser version 7, and he'll go into detail on some game-changing new workflows that are made possible with this upgrade. By the end of the presentation, we hope you'll see how ShareBrowser version 7 can help your team create amazing content faster from anywhere. Here is Brian Kutowski to tell you everything you need to know about ShareBrowser version 7.
Thank you, Melanie. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in today. I'm excited to tell you about ShareBrowser MAM and everything that version 7 brings to the table. Let's briefly start with some basics for everyone's benefit, and then we'll move on to what's new in version 7. So what is ShareBrowser? ShareBrowser is the powerful and easy-to-use Media Asset Manager, or MAM, that comes included with Evo. It's part of the multi-award winning Evo suite of software tools, which includes ShareBrowser for asset management, Slingshot for transcoding and automations, like for cloud backups, data transfers, other file operations, and API-based custom integrations, and Nomad to facilitate remote editing workflows. All of those tools come included with Evo for unlimited users on your team. And while Slingshot and Nomad are essential components of the workflow for many of our users, ShareBrowser is by far the most popular tool within this suite. For most Evo users, ShareBrowser is how the creative team engages with the server. It's how editors access their files. It's what people use every day for every project. I'll touch on a few bullet points here for those of you who are new to ShareBrowser. Then I'll dive into a demo so I can show you some of the new features in action. As Evo's built-in MAM, ShareBrowser helps your team search, tag, comment, preview, organize, and share media across your entire storage environment. So whether a specific media file is stored on your Evo, up in the cloud, 7 folders deep on a network-attached nearline server, or pretty much anywhere else across your storage infrastructure, ShareBrowser can help you find exactly what you're looking for fast. It functions as a single pane of glass that consolidates all of your media into one central searchable MAM, making it easy to access, preview, and collaborate on shared media assets and project files. While I won't be covering this in the demo, I want to mention that ShareBrowser also has this really cool AI connector that can automatically add relevant tags to your media based on what the AI sees in the clip. This can save your team precious time in your workflow, especially if you have a large media library that isn't tagged yet. You can have AI add valuable metadata to those clips without you or your assistant editors having to review and tag each one manually. ShareBrowser is available as a desktop application, a convenient web app, and as a panel extension inside Adobe Premiere Pro and After Effects, Apple's Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve, so your editors can search, preview, and import their media into their timelines without ever leaving their favorite NLE. Of course, ShareBrowser also works great with other creative applications like Media Composer, Edius, Nuke, Blender, Pro Tools, Photoshop, Illustrator, and so on. It's not just for your audio and video files. It's also a great tool for photography, motion graphics, and really any file types that your creative team uses on a regular basis. Most editors I know are steadfast in their OS preferences, so I'd also like to note that ShareBrowser works with both Mac and Windows operating systems for a seamless user experience, no matter what workstation you're working with. All right, let's kick this webinar up a notch with a demo so you can see the new ShareBrowser features in action. This is ShareBrowser. We can see our volumes and mount them just like we would for any storage device. We can pin our favorite folders here to provide quick access to the storage locations we use most often. And we can organize and aggregate media into bins, which are virtual folders that can be kept private or shared publicly with team members. These are the tools we use to navigate our file systems when we know more or less where our media is. In contrast, when you're looking for an asset but you don't know what folder or volume that file is in, the search bar in ShareBrowser will be your best friend. We can search by tags, comments, file name, codec, or any metadata related to that file. Let's do a quick search. To audition these assets, we can use a new keyboard shortcut to open and play the preview of that clip. Simply have the clip selected, press spacebar, and your preview window pops up and automatically plays back your video. This is typically set up to play back a preview proxy, so you aren't going to stress the system playing 4K and 8K video just to see what's in the file. These preview proxies are automatically generated by Slingshot, the transcoder and automations engine I mentioned earlier. You can transcode your high-resolution footage automatically with Slingshot, so it's always ready to preview here in ShareBrowser. You can use JKL to rewind, pause, and fast-forward the preview, and hitting the spacebar again will close the preview window, letting you navigate to the next asset on the list. This spacebar quick look is brand new in ShareBrowser version 7, giving users a single keystroke option to audition their media. You can see all of the keyboard shortcuts available in ShareBrowser by typing a question mark to pull up the shortcuts menu. While we're here, if you aren't using Control B or Command B to add time-based comments, I highly recommend that feature. You don't even need to pause the preview, just type the shortcut and write out your comment. Back to the preview window. We've made ShareBrowser previews even bigger in ShareBrowser version 7, especially when it comes to images and photography. Larger image previews mean it's easier to see smaller details in your media assets right here in ShareBrowser without having to open the full resolution file. Now let's take a closer look at the metadata pane. And what exactly is metadata? Well, it is the saved data about your data files. Items such as date the file was made, its name, the video codec used. These are all types of metadata that ShareBrowser knows about your media file. How does the system know all of this information? From Slingshot, Evo's automation engine that works in the background to index, transcode, backup, and do all this great stuff as you add media to your Evo. We can add even more metadata through ShareBrowser and really leverage this as a key tool in how we approach our media management. We've got our customizable metadata, like tags, comments, and our custom built fields, which is where you can put any information you'd like. Set up a dropdown for lead editor or DP. Leave a free text field for client name. You can set up these custom fields to fit your production team's needs. Below that, we have the harvested metadata section. This displays file metadata like name, size, duration, frame rate, resolution, codec, last modified date, and last index date. And we can show more to open up a larger list of metadata fields, like when the file was created, bitrate, and so on. But let's say you want to see that file's bitrate before clicking Show More, and you'd really prefer to see the creation date before the last modified date. In ShareBrowser version 7, you can customize exactly how this information is displayed for a more personalized user experience. When we click the filter icon, we can now choose which fields are visible and hidden from our list. And we can change the order of these fields without affecting how they appear when our colleagues log in and use ShareBrowser. This is a fully personalized experience per user. If you get a little carried away, you can click here to restore the defaults. And you can always click Show More to expand the full list again. From a security standpoint, ShareBrowser version 7 supports ACLs, or access control lists. If you're using ACL permissions on your Evo for things like folder-based permissions, ShareBrowser can inherit those permissions from the server. If you're already using ShareBrowser and this feature is of interest to you, please contact our support team for assistance and let them know we sent you from this webinar. If you're not sure what this part means, then this feature may not be applicable to your organization's use of ShareBrowser. The important thing to know is that Evo and ShareBrowser have effectively two permission models, and what I'm referring to here is a more advanced permissioning system. For some customers, especially universities, this is incredibly important. For others, the current standard permissions model that's always been in ShareBrowser is perfectly acceptable. Again, if you need assistance on this topic, please contact our support team. As I mentioned earlier, ShareBrowser runs as a desktop application, a convenient browser-based web app, and even inside your NLE with panel extensions for Premiere Pro, After Effects, Final Cut Pro, and DaVinci Resolve. Let's open up Premiere and take a look at the new proxy workflow available in ShareBrowser's NLE integrations. We think many of you are going to love this new way of working within your Evo environment. In today's modern editing workflow, the use of proxy files has become a key component in making sure that large format files don't cause any hiccups within the process. Not only can your Evo create these proxy files for you with Slingshot, but now in ShareBrowser version 7, we have continued to evolve the proxy workflow and simplify it so that now proxies can be downloaded and attached automatically as you import footage into your project. Before we bring in the footage, let's set our preferences to allow this to happen. In the ShareBrowser panel, I open my user preferences and check the box to download proxies. Next, I click the pen icon to choose a location for where I want these files to be stored while I'm working on them. Once I have saved these preferences, all I need to do to start the process is import the footage into my project. We can see here that the proxy files are being downloaded to my designated destination, and I can go to that destination right now to confirm that the proxies are there. I should also note the exact folder structure for how the original file exists on the Evo has been replicated for storing the proxy. Now, what about attaching the proxies to the original media? It's already done. ShareBrowser has done the entire attachment process for us, so I can click the Toggle Proxies button and start editing. We can confirm that the proxies are attached right here in my project window, and I have my proxy set up with burnt-in timecode and a watermark image, so you can easily see which file I'm playing back, proxy or source. You can add these overlays to your proxies in Slingshot, Evo's automatic transcoding engine, which I have found very helpful when using proxies in this new workflow. This feature has been enabled for all of ShareBrowser's NLE extensions, including Premiere, Final Cut, and Resolve. No matter which of these NLEs you are working in or their specific protocols for proxies, ShareBrowser can automate the download of the proxy files as well as the attachment to the source media for you. This function of importing source media, downloading proxies, and attaching proxies to source automatically with ShareBrowser greatly simplifies the proxy workflow. It allows editors more time to work on the creative process with files that are much easier for the NLE to handle. And that applies to editors working in the office or studio, as well as those editing remotely around the world. For editors utilizing a remote or cloud-based workflow, this will enable them to save a ton of time by editing with proxies. To put this in real-world context, I was at Adobe Max demoing ShareBrowser and all of Evo's suite of tools recently. The majority of questions that I got were specifically about how Evo can support remote editing workflows. And when I showed this feature, every person jumped on this idea of editing remotely just with proxies. It's a clean and elegant solution, free from the typical online, offline, and proxy workflow headaches. Editors can leave the high resolution source files on a remote Evo server or in the cloud and only download the proxies. ShareBrowser version 7 will automatically attach those proxies to source. Then you can disconnect from the remote Evo server altogether and work offline with those lightweight proxies for your remote workflow. This is especially beneficial for Evo Cloud users, enabling real-time, edit-in-place workflows while your source files remain in the cloud. All your editors have to do is toggle proxies on, edit with the proxies toggled on, and then toggle them off when you're ready to export. If you're not sure what Evo Cloud is, it's our fully cloud-hosted solution for remote and decentralized creative teams with no ingress or egress fees, no per-user license fees, and no on-premise hardware required. We hosted a webinar about this solution, which won NAB Product of the Year in Cloud Computing and Storage and the IABM Storage Award this year. Leave us a comment if you're interested in Evo Cloud for your workflow, and we'll send you the link to learn more. So let's recap some of the new features and functionality in ShareBrowser version 7. Advanced folder-level permissions can be carried forward from your Evo server into ShareBrowser for those using ACLs or access control lists. The new spacebar shortcut makes it quick and easy to open your media preview window. The preview window is larger, especially for image previews for photography workflows. Each user can customize what fields are visible in the metadata pane and how those fields are organized in their personal user experience. We walked through the new proxy workflow using ShareBrowser's integrations for Adobe Premiere Pro, DaVinci Resolve, and Final Cut Pro. Using this workflow, media is now imported, proxies are downloaded and automatically attached to source, all in one step, without ever leaving our editing application, all thanks to ShareBrowser. And we discussed how ShareBrowser version 7 works for both on-premise and cloud workflows, especially when it comes to editing in place with proxies and source media with Evo Cloud. With these great features and new workflow tools, ShareBrowser version 7 has a lot to offer your creative team. As a quick technical aside, ShareBrowser version 7 requires your Evo to be running Evo version 7. We've been shipping and upgrading version 7 Evo since early last year, so if you haven't upgraded yet, you can reach out to support to get on the schedule. The best way to open a support ticket is to go to our website, studionetworksolutions.com, click on support, and open a ticket from there. You can also access support from the Evo GUI. I hope you enjoyed today's walkthrough and presentation, As Melanie mentioned earlier, ShareBrowser version 7 is just one of the big announcements we made this year. And we're already hard at work on more great things that we're looking forward to showing you next year. Here's Melanie again to go over some other new tools within the Evo workflow and next steps for upgrading to ShareBrowser version 7.
Thanks, Brian, and thank you to everyone watching along today. We hope you learned how the new Share browser can enhance your team's media management experience and how its new proxy workflow can support your editors working in the studio, at home, and around the world. I'm excited to see what you think about Share Browser version 7. Leave us a comment to share your thoughts or ask any remaining questions you have about the presentation. ShareBrowser version 7 begins shipping on all new systems starting this month, immediately following this presentation. If you'd like to join the waitlist to upgrade to the latest version of ShareBrowser MAM, you can open a support ticket at studionetworksolutions.com/support. As Brian mentioned, ShareBrowser version 7 is compatible with Evo OS version 7. So if you haven't upgraded to the latest version of Evo yet, but you want the latest version of ShareBrowser, make sure to reach out to support so we can get you upgraded as soon as we can. We announced these new features at IBC 2023, along with some other pretty big news. In addition to ShareBrowser version 7, we recently debuted Mod's full accessories set, which includes a chic and functional carrying case, base and mount and wall mount, so you can mount Mod anywhere you want, and a spare power supply. We've made remote access to Evo even faster, with VPN Accelerator now hitting speeds up to 5 times faster. And more. You can keep tabs on all of our news and announcements at studionetworksolutions.com or by following us on social media. We're on TikTok, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and of course, YouTube. I highly recommend subscribing to our YouTube channel and watching our new Slingshot and Share Browser videos. We've also curated a handful of videos for you on our website at studionetworksolutions.com/watch. Thanks again for joining us for everything you need to know about Share Browser version 7. We hope to see you again soon.